When you see a massive artillery cannon fire, you've got to wonder, how does that thing not just rip itself apart? Well, today we're going to dive right into the incredible engineering that tames all that power. We're talking about recoil systems and gun stability. So, when an artillery piece fires, right, it just unleashes this huge forward force. But, physics always gets its due. And the price for that forward blast is this violent, rearward surge of energy. We call it recoil. And if you don't control it, man, it wouldn't just throw off your aim. It could literally shatter the gun carriage or even flip the whole weapon over. No joke.
So, the big question is, how do you tame that incredible energy? Well, it all comes down to a really sophisticated system of hydraulic brakes and some super powerful springs. Let's get into it and break down exactly how this thing works.
All right, to really get a handle on recoil, we've got to go back to the very moment of firing. The whole process starts with containing this just immense pressure from the propellant gases. And to do that, you need a perfect seal. And that process has a name: obturation. It's the critical sealing of the breech. And it's got two jobs, both of them vital. First, it maximizes the forward pressure on the shell, getting all that power moving forward. And second, it protects the crew from these superheated, high-pressure gases that would otherwise escape backward. So yeah, you could call it a literal life-saving seal. Okay, so once that pressure is sealed and then released, bam! We run into our old friend Sir Isaac Newton. You know his third law, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So that massive forward blast, it creates an equally powerful backward blast. This is what we call the shock of discharge, and it is the entire reason we need recoil systems in the first place. So, how in the world do you keep a multi-ton piece of metal from jumping all over the place when it fires? Well, it all comes down to one word: stability. And for an artillery piece, stability is all about 5 key factors working together to create a totally rock-solid platform to fire from. All right, let's take a look at these 5 factors. First up, we need to talk about the trunnion. That's just the pivot point where the barrel tilts up and down. So from that, we get trunnion height, how high that pivot is, and trunnion pull, which is the backward force coming from the recoil system. Then you've got trail length. Think of it as the leverage you get from the support legs. Next is the total weight of the gun, and finally, the angle it's firing at or its elevation. Every single one of these is a critical piece of the puzzle. Okay, now let's talk about the force that's actively trying to flip the gun over. This is called the turning moment. The formula is pretty straightforward. It's the trunnion pull times the trunnion height. Just picture it as the leverage that the recoil has, trying its best to tip the gun right over backward. But of course, there's a counterforce fighting back. This is the correcting moment. This is the force that keeps the gun planted firmly on the ground. And its formula? The gun's total weight multiplied by the trail length. This is the leverage that the gun's own design uses to resist that toppling force. And this is where it all comes together beautifully. For the gun to stay stable, it's a simple battle. The correcting moment has to be greater than the turning moment. The force keeping it down must be stronger than the force trying to flip it up. So the bottom line is this: W times L has to be greater than F times H. It's really as simple as that. Okay, so we've got the physics of stability down. But what are the actual nuts and bolts doing all this work? Well, right at the heart of any modern recoil system, you're going to find 2 key players: the buffer and the recuperator. Think of it this way. The buffer is like a brake. It slows down that violent backward jerning of the barrel. Then, the second the barrel stops, the recuperator, which has been busy storing up all that energy, pushes it right back into firing position, ready to go again. It's a perfect 1-2 punch. So let's zoom in on the buffer for a second. At its core, it's just a really powerful hydraulic brake. As the gun recoils, it shoves this piston through a cylinder that's filled with oil. That oil has to squeeze through these tiny little holes, which creates a ton of resistance. And what does that do? It converts all that kinetic energy from the recoil into heat, which then just dissipates safely. It's a brilliant way to get rid of all that force. And then you have the recuperator. This is the muscle of the operation. It's what gets the gun back into position or back to battery. As the gun flies backward, it's either compressing these heavy-duty springs or some highly pressurized gas. The moment that backward motion stops, all that stored potential energy is released, and whoosh, it powerfully shoves the barrel all the way forward again. And this little comparison really lays it all out, doesn't it? The buffer's whole job is to slow things down. It uses oil to turn kinetic energy into heat and just get rid of it. The recuperator, on the other hand, is all about getting back in the fight. It uses springs or gas to store that energy and then use it to push the barrel forward. They're basically two sides of the same coin, with opposite jobs that work together perfectly. Okay, now this next part is a really fascinating bit of engineering. Think about it. At really high firing angles, a long recoil could make the back of the gun, the breech, smack right into the ground. Not good. So to prevent that, you have these things called cutoff gears that automatically adjust the whole system. As the barrel points higher and higher, these gears actually restrict the oil flow in the buffer, which shortens the recoil distance. It's a really ingenious, built-in safety feature. You know, all this talk of buffers and recuperators can feel a bit abstract. So let's bring it back to something you've probably seen 1,000 times. One of those heavy-duty door closers. Seriously, think about it. You throw a heavy door open with a lot of force. That's your recoil. The hydraulic part of the closer kicks in and stops the door from slamming into the wall, right? That's the buffer doing its job. And then, when you let go, that internal spring pulls the door smoothly shut again. That's your recuperator. It is the exact same principle, just, on a much, much bigger scale. All right, let's do a quick review and pull together all the key takeaways. This next part is going to be super helpful for anyone studying this stuff, especially if you've got an exam coming up. So if you ever need to actually draw out how gun stability works, this simple diagram is going to be your best friend. Seriously, you just draw an L shape for the barrel and the trail, then mark the trunnion right there at the joint. Next, you draw in your forces, the turning moment and the correcting moment, and then you finish it off with that all-important formula. This one little diagram shows the entire concept of how the gun stays stable. It's a fantastic tool for studying. All right, let's do one last, super fast recap. Ready? Obturation, that seals the gases. Recoil, that's Newton's third law doing its thing. Stability, that's the correcting moment winning its fight against the turning moment. The buffer is the hydraulic brake that dissipates energy as heat. The recuperator is the spring system that stores energy to push the barrel back. And finally, cutoff gears adjust the recoil length when you're firing at high angles. Got it? Good. And I'll leave you with a little something to chew on. A question to really test your understanding. We know that if you increase the length of the recoil, the trunnion pole, the F in our formula, actually goes down. So, with that in mind, take another look at our stability formula. How would increasing the recoil length affect the overall stability of the gun carriage? It's a great little puzzle to see if you've really grasped how all these forces play together. Thanks for watching.